Hello, everybody. Gozoscope, Periscope, Coffee Scope. Welcome to your daily scope of the day. My name is David Trigg, a joy and anxiety mentor, and I am so excited to be here with you guys. Good morning. What a glorious morning it is. You know, it is just a great day. No matter what fear, anxiety, depression, whatever situation you're dealing with in life, there can be joy. Because like I always, try to live out, though there's pain in the night, joy comes in the morning. And so that is what we want to talk about exactly, my bro. Exactly, sister. That is exact. Gozo comes in the morning. That is my verse. Love it. I am a pastor, entrepreneur, a creative musician that really loves to, find grace of their fear and their impression. It is an amazing verse. I grew up as an anxious young man coming from years. Emily, thank you so much. Thank you for the Gozo hearts. And I appreciate you guys as well. And from growing, I was 9 years old, and from growing up in war-torn Nicaragua, my love, my country, I love so much. Raised by my grandma, 9 years old. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. And through years of and counseling and 10,000 hours of what it's about and integrating, absolutely. Thank you so much. Into the practice of God and His grace, the knowledge and the self-awareness of learning anxiety. Now I've been married to my Michelle 20 years. Amazing and life, an amazing person ever. Without a doubt, I love that. And now we're raising three beautiful teenagers, two girls, 14, and a young boy. He is 12. And there is hope in front. I love it. It is such an amazing thing. So, my dear friends, my dear Gozo, we bring flower. Yeah, absolutely. I am such a man by the grace of God. We bring Gozo roses of different flowers, Gozo hearts to the table so that everyone who is here or who will watch this later can Gozo heart, and the light is shining bright through us today. I also have Daisy the dog. She is in the background. And a beautiful dog that is a beautiful just joy to have a bunny upstairs. So there's six of us, five and two dogs or two pets. What a joy. So I want to talk to you today about the law of readiness and how to be ready. Thank you so much. The Gozo that is everywhere here. Thank you so much. How to be ready, to feel ready when you're going to a important meeting, conversation, maybe a difficult decision to make. It could be something creative, something relationally. It could be something, and maybe even could be that you have to your children about something that really important, grades or whatever it may be. So, to you exactly, creativity. How do we apply the law of readiness? And what does it mean? Because I think that a lot of times, we walk into these meetings prepared, not feeling, and so we feel that we are at the mercy, the response of the other person. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Exactly what it feels like. So before I do the law of readiness, which I have 4 things that I have been thinking about, I want to show my coffee of the day. Good morning. If you have been watching these daily scopes, I have my coffee here, which is yummy. I am a tea drinker a little bit, but I'm a coffee drinker. And I put in it what I call the poison, just the French vanilla. So I've already put in my poison. As you know, I also heat it up. Put in the creamer, and I go back and I put it because that way it stays hot and steamy. So let's blend. Taste like. Here we go. It's just right. Not too hot, definitely not cold. Excuse my drinking sounds. Yeah. Yeah, I love cinnamon. It's such good input. Thank you so much. So, readiness. How to go into a meeting, a conversation, feeling ready versus being of others' response. I'll tell you a quick story that is, I think, in a frame for us. So, as you know, I live here in Long Beach, and I work at USC, a university here, also an administrator there for about 3 years. And while I was there, I met some students, especially in the arts. Obviously, we all know football. I did meet some athletes, amazing athletes, but as a creative healer, I went to the cellists and the vocal, as well as the cinematic arts students. And the joy of my life, see all of these students come into the church pastoring, yes, and they would play their instruments right there on the grand piano that we had. And then the cinematic art students who's built the street. This is the building, guys, where worse and where George Lucas, epic heroes of studied. And obviously now Dr. Dre that continue to be are now part of the university there. So these two guys, Alec and his brother Ed, who were students there at a cinematic arts school. Long story short, they stayed here at night because today they're pitching their script to Netflix. So last night we were together, songs right in the room behind me. We were talking about the creatives of how do you write a script and how do you then put producers for Netflix. So literally they left early 2 hours ago. They're going to West LA. We live about south of West LA to go, and they have meetings with producers, with Kevin Costner's people, all of different actors and producers and their managers to pitch their idea to Netflix and to hopefully get their original show time next year. I think they're shooting for summer. So as you can see, we're nervous. So this breakfast right here in the kitchen. And are you ready? And they said, we are. And so we talked about why and how do you come to a point where even though you're about to present your baby, the script is about 2 inches thick. How do you feel ready for something so epic? So it made me think of 4 things that I am convinced are the way that you can feel ready. Because I also, I'm sure like many of you, have gone into so many similar meetings. I first wrote my first CD, and I wanted iTunes and record it and have all the right musicians. I had to go and talk to all of these different, top of the line producers and artists and put myself out there. It's always so difficult for a lot of us creators and empaths. So here are that I want to give to you today, Gozo Family, Gozo Nation, so that you can feel ready for any sort of conversation, and that especially, here's the uniqueness. You don't depend on other people to validate your readiness. That is so that you don't give your soul away others' response of you to their affirmation and therefore completely lose your mojo and never try. Am I talking the truth? This is what happens to us, right, as creatives. So as I've grown, I want to with you. So number 1, here are the 4 things for you be ready. This is the law of readiness. Number 1 is hard work. It's basically the law of 10,000 hours of, I think, Frederick, I forget his, he speaks about the law of 1,000 hours. What that means, you to be ready. For you are not giving your heart away to somebody else. You put in 10,000 hours of work. So that if you are talking to somebody, you are going to go resolve something with your husband, with your children, particular area of conflict. It could be, maybe it's something with your children dealing with homework or with friends. If it's in the workplace, maybe your case, or to talk about how your work is not being approved or valued. You have to put in 10,000 of work going in conversation so that you can have of the law of readiness. Reason, here's some real gozo. The reason why you at meetings is because you are not ready to go into that meeting. You're thinking that complaint or because you're mad, that being upset does not ready. Complaining all that's wrong does not make you ready. It makes you a complainer. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Does not equal readiness. Now, what I would do with complaining or that energy, is I would then focus that into 10,000 hour work. And now you curve that, persuade those 10,000 hours to maybe it's 10 hours. Maybe it's 100 hours. Maybe it's, days of preparation. And obviously the kind of conversation that you're going to have. But the point is, you have to pour. Okay, number 2 is the law of readiness. Is if it comes from it. You and I are ready to walk into, into a producer's if whatever you're bringing to the table has come from your true life, from who you really are, from a sense of your heart. The reason again times those meetings that we walk into pull up on our face is because we're walking a bunch of lies or with half-truths, or we have a hidden agenda that is not truly in alignment with our. And so when the other party hears our request, our complaint, our idea, they're feeling this dissonance between your words and your actions because they have noticed your patterns for months. And so authenticity, to be true to yourself, to be in alignment with your heart message is crucial. Readiness says, speak. Now, sometimes I know that can be scary because you feel like if you speak vulnerably, you're going to get hurt. What I would say is use boundaries. Maybe you've read the book called Have Discernment. Reveal enough based on the context. Go into the 1 through 10 of vulnerability. It might just be, in this case, 1, 2, meaning level 2. You go to level 10 of vulnerability with your boss. If it's with your husband or wife, you might start at level 4 because of pain. Obviously, with those who you're closest to, and especially in a marriage, move towards levels 8, 9, and 10. As maturity comes exactly. 3. The third element of readiness is peace in your crisis. If you have found grace in your crisis, that is going to be ready. What do I mean by that? So back to my friends that were here. They have of privilege around them. Studied at one of the best universities in the world, a degree that is one of the best that prepare them in many ways to be in front of these flicks, etc. They have a lifestyle who does very well financially, so they can afford the fancy cameras and the cars because of USC connection. So here's what I mean by that. Here's where you and I could look at someone who, quote, feels ready and say, well, of course, ready. Look at all the things that you have. Mean by grace and crisis. You know what these two boys, where it comes from? They grew up without a... You know what the script is all about? It's about their lives in, I won't reveal, it's top secret, in a certain part of the country. And to that part of the country, because of abusive father when they were like 7 and 8. They were basically away from their own father. That's what I'm talking about when I mean grace. How in spite of all, they have been able to find the hope, also as we call it here, the joy, to move through that crisis around it. That was a crisis. Exactly right. And that has now proved them and has made them for this day. So no matter what, no matter what exactly or two or three say or don't say, they are living out of the life of readiness because there is grace in their crisis. They have that strength that comes from that crisis. Now, let me say this. Strength does not come from crisis. Strength can grace through your crisis. There are a million people that are living earth because of their crisis. So it's not the same thing. It does not equal grace. Crisis does not equal a person. How many people have you met? Their crisis has made them into worse people. It's finding the grace in the crisis. And what I mean by grace is a combination of a lot. We can get into that at a different gozoscope. So the last thing to me is the essence of this law of readiness. To know the love of family and friends. I've been talking about here all day. You will, when you know where your strength, bottom line. When you know in heaven is literally side. When you know that your husband, that your wife are literally in your life supporting you, go into that meeting, that is readiness. And I could speak on this last topic because there is cognitive love and there is spirituality, knowledge and grace of love. There is knowledge that is up here from the head, and there is the being loved. The knowing you are loved. To be loved, to know you are loved is different than paper that says you are married. To experience love that's been tested, love that is paid, that has been kind in spite of your failure, mistakes, or whatever has happened, that is a different story. To know that your mom is still there even though you walked away. To know that regardless of mistakes, of choices, of that God and family you as you are, not you should be. That is the he said, by the way. And to me, the crux of the law of readiness, beyond hours of hard work, beyond all the things I know, is to know that you are loved. And I can tell you so many stories of I have come to that. Since I was 9 years old, 46 at midlife, I can say my readiness to be here on this scope, meeting, to stand in front of people and talk at other things that I have the chance to do. Readiness. I'm not saying perfectly. I'm not saying without any sort of, problems. My comes from being held by the love of, because my dad is now gone, and the love of my Father in heaven. And I have so many stories, images, icons, miracles, moments of truth change me. That helped me to go from things that I just knew, kind of like as a piece of paper that someone signs in terms of marriage, experience of tested and enduring love. So those are the 4 elements of the law of, if you want to feel ready to walk into any facing this week, here as we wrap up into November, you're thinking, how do I get ready for that Thanksgiving that I can't stand? How do I get ready for the holidays and Christmas season that I afford? How do I get ready a new year with me that I do not give grace to? How do I feel to get back into school or to start a business once again? The bankruptcy after all of weakness. How do I feel? Hope that these 4 tips have been helpful to you and that you can live out of these realities, both from a practical perspective, as from a spiritual and deep within perspective. My name is David Trigg, and I am so to be able to share these thoughts with you. This video, my Facebook page later today at davidtrigg.com. It'll also be on my YouTube channel, blog, also at davidtrigg.com. I am thankful for you as well. Thank you for joining. If you would like to actually get a link list, I produced that I just wrote over the last called How to Have a Grieving Party During the Holidays. And it's a resource of sections that you can get for free. That is, you go to a site which is called Life of Gozo. Again, means joy in Spanish. Well, I speak both Spanish and English, a little bit ni hao. And lifeofgozo.com, lifeofgozo.com. And on there, the landing pages, they call it, where you can enter your information, name and email, and I will send you an ebook called How to Have a Grieving Party During the Anxious Holidays. Not only that, and there's a whole, I guess just to spill the beans here a little bit, you're getting the fresh off the invitation. You also are going to believe I'm doing this, but I really want to people during this season. I'm giving you my free CD that I recorded at 14. I played all over town, really all over the country, different cities. It was hugely popular. How Do You Feel? 5 original songs, including the very popular Don't Cry Alone, my favorite Call Hours, and a few others. So if you go to lifeofgozo.com, see on there how to sign up and these 2 amazing free resources. Headed, just so you know where this is headed for this year and into 2016, is I have 3 videos basically that I'm putting together called Live a Life of Gozo. And the specific subtitle is called How to Find Great Anxiety. And that is going to be a paid video series that hopefully you take advantage of and be able to share with your friends here for the Christmas. Enough of that. Thank you again, guys. I'm glad to be here with you. Again, as I said, my name is David, and I want to just remind you that though there is pain in the gozo comes in the morning. Every morning, Monday through Friday, here on Periscope, Gozoscope, at 8 a.m. so that you can catch the daily dose of joy. Thanks again. I will see you next time.